your name if you want to, or just tell me where you've come from and why you are here.
My name is Odell, and I'm here because I'm here protesting. Simply, I don't like the way the country is going. I don't like the way the world is going. When we're talking about eliminating NATO, we have no sense of history. If we don't, we're going to recreate what happened in World War I and World War II if we get rid of NATO, because Putin is ready to invade, and we're going to be right back where we started at the turn of last century.
Right.
That makes no sense to me. And the climate, my God, in Rochester, everyone lives on the water. Houses are flooded. It's a big, big issue.
So you're already seeing that?
Yes.
Is that where you come from?
Yes.
In Rochester, New York?
Yeah. Everybody houses every day. They have how far has the water come?
Wow.
You know, and
Wow.
they can't even live in their homes. That's the reality of it. So deny reality, that doesn't make any sense. But this concept of America needing to be great again, when did we stop being great?
Right. And that's what Obama kept saying.
When I walked past Dr. King's and some of the things that he was saying, he said those things in the 60s.
Right.
There was great things being said then. There were great things being said in the 70s. This is a great country. We don't need to be made great again. We just need to continue doing the great things we had been in the past and worrying about our fellow man.
Right.
And this concept of denying people entry into a country of immigrants.
Right.
That's something that I just can't understand. How can you deny entry to people, and we are a bunch of immigrants? This is a country full of, we killed 100 million Native Americans.
Yes.
So they're gone, and the people who left here were not originally from here. But we want to deny people the opportunity to get the same chance we have while we're here.
And what's so heartbreaking is so many are trying to escape the terrorism we
Of course.
want to put out.
Of course, they leave. That's the same reason why people left the potato famine. The same reason why people left Europe at the turn of last century for better.
Right.
People not leaving for worse.
Right.
I'm going to leave where it's nice and go where it's bad. No, people leaving bad to come to worse. Those are just common natural. If you just think for one moment, you can understand that. But I don't. I try to relate. I try to ask people, what is it that he's trying to accomplish? And they talk about Hillary, but what is he trying to make how is he going to make our country great again?
So when they go back to Hillary, they say they just couldn't support Hillary because she lies?
No, they don't. It's the shiny object in the sky.
Right.
They can't defend it, so they get on something else.
Oh, they changed the
Yes,
topic.
they changed the subject. Now, I had at church, I was at church this past Sunday.
Yep.
A brother at church, he's for Trump.
Okay.
And I walk in and I say to him, I said, when I was a child, my mother told me that don't hang around with bad people because people think you're a bad person.
I've heard that too.
Okay. Now I said everybody Trump is with and knows sneaking in the back door with Russians. Come on. And then I said, I don't want to hear nothing about no emails. Because if an email is bad, this is worse.
Yes.
How can you not look at that? If you brought a child in kindergarten,
Right.
and you tell them, they sneaking through the back door, they did something wrong. That's the first thing a child would say.
Yep.
And I can't, I'm just curious as to how, and I'm glad Mueller is there. Oh my God, because I was really worried. But I have to say this, when I went to bed that night and woke up and found out, oh my God, I thought this is the end of the world.
Right.
And then I came to the Women's March. And my soul felt so much better. I mean, literally, my soul felt, and it watched the waves of people coming.
Yes.
And coming. I said, okay, Odell, things are going to be all right. Because I think Barack summed it up well before he left the White House. He said, resist the attack upon democracy.
Right.
And I said, well, that's what we got to do. So we've been to every march. We was at the Women's March, we was at the Science March, we was at the Tax March, and now we're here. And
I get to meet you this time. I've been at every march too.
Yeah, and so you just have to protest.
Yes.
You have to, because this is not America.
I've written a piece that it's protest is a sign that our democracy is still resilient and flexible enough, and we're out here trying to hold the center because we've fallen too far back.
Yes, we
We're
have.
going backwards.
We're going backwards. And again, I just think of all the great things Dr. King said in the 60s.
Absolutely.
And what he stood for.
Absolutely.
For humanity. I mean, what was the quote? The quote he talks about, it was brilliant. He talks about how we're interwoven together. That my reality is connected to your reality. And the only way we're going to have a good life is that I respect you, you respect me, and we respect each other.
Like we together, we're all like a thread in our collective shared reality.
Yes, yes.
And we choose the quality of the thread we contribute to our moment in time.
Yes, and
so we need to be wise.
We do, and not, because I never was for Trump. I wasn't for Hillary nor Bernie. I had worked for Barack from 2008 and 2012.
Right.
And I was really burnt out, but Hillary didn't strike me as someone I needed to support, and Bernie didn't strike me as someone I needed to support. And Trump, I thought that was just a joke, to be very honest with you. Yep. And I'm still suspicious about that whole election thing. I just am. I worked in Pennsylvania, I worked in Ohio, and I worked in New Hampshire. I was in Pennsylvania, and they sent me to rural Pennsylvania. And I was a little worse. I'm an African-American woman going to rural Pennsylvania. I said, I don't think this is white. They said, no, Dale, you need to go.
Right.
I was a little nervous, so I go knock on the door of an apartment complex. And this older white woman, she's maybe in her 70s, and her son was in his 50s. And I said, I'm for Barack. I said, oh, yes, we are for Democrats. Because my grandmother, the mother of his mother, had told them that they better always vote Democrat because FDR gave the grandmother something to eat when she had nothing. And so for that, they needed to always vote Democratic. And I'm out in rural Pennsylvania.
That's amazing.
And I thought, wait a minute, this is not Philadelphia, this is rural. I was scared, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
And I had all these people saying the same thing to me. It was like they had read from a script. FDR gave my grandmama something, so I'm gonna always vote Democratic.
Wow.
And when he won Pennsylvania, I said, I can't believe it. I'm still to this day, I'm suspicious of this whole situation. And hopefully Mueller will get to the bottom of it, because I just don't believe it.
As far as like the investigation, the firing of Comey, and now we have Mueller. So this is.
I still think
there's something going on.
I think he's going to fire Mueller before this thing is out.
Do you think he can fire him?
I think he can. He can fire him. Then they're going to have to impeach him. But I mean, I think he's going to fire him. He think he's playing checkers, and he's smart, and he's going to fire Mueller. I was surprised he didn't fire him when he got back from Europe.
Right.
But then that Jared thing jumped off, and so he couldn't take care of that. I didn't look at that. But I think before the end of this situation, Mueller's going to get fired.
Wow.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't wake up,
they don't want to be awoke.
They don't want to be awoken.
What their objective is for this country, the people that are supporting Trump have a different objective than making America great again.
Yeah.
Let's not be naive. When you support keeping people out of a country that you yourself can only go back a generation or two when you came here.
Yes.
When you can support people like that, it's something more to it. And then the only countries you keep out brown, tan, and beige people.
Yeah.
It is, when you look at the reality of it, how can you not question? His son-in-law is sneaking the Russians in the back door. Don't nobody walk in the back door unless they've made. I mean, you're something, you're up there, and he's walking in through the back door. Then he says, well, I never tell nobody he didn't talk with him.
Yep.
That's lying.
Yep.
And then when you do ask him I was talking business. Well, you can't talk business with him because we got sanctions on doing business in Russia.
Absolutely.
So if you admit to breaking a sanction law, you will breaking a bigger law because you're lying, because you have no history of telling the truth. I can't even, that's what I don't understand. Everybody learned in kindergarten. In kindergarten, you learn everything you need in life. Go to the back of the line, wait your turn, and tell the truth.
I don't think he learned that.
But his supporters.
And his supporters.
I mean, he has not told, when he put up the picture of the Women's March and said it was his inauguration.
He did that?
Yes.
He took the
It's in the, he hung it up in where they do the press conferences. It's up in the press conference. But
really?
It's the 21st.
I didn't know that.
It says the 21st, and it was but his inauguration was on the 20th.
Yes.
See, something is wrong with you in that sense. And that right there told you from the day one you lying.
Wow.
If you start lying to me, the first thing you say to me is a lie.
Yeah.
Again, my mama told me, be careful the people you associate with. People will think that's you.
Absolutely.
Be associating with Russians. It is what it is. But I just feel his supporters have a different agenda.
I think you're right.
Than talking about making America great again.
Steve Bannon
is a white supremacist.
Yes,
he's a white supremacist.
Scary.
Call him what he is. He's
scary.
a white supremacist.
Yes.
And Flynn, Dr. Rice had the same job. Yep. All she did was come out and speak on Benghazi.
Yep.
And she's the devil. This man represented 2 other countries as our national security advisor. And I think the woman on television in Iowa summed it up better. The best. She said, she asked one of her congressmen, all Bill Clinton did was get a blowjob in the White House. But she said this thing brought Russians into the Oval Office. When you going to impeach him?
Right. And
told him my secrets.
Right.
You see, it's something that it's more than just make America great again. Because that's the shiny object in the sky.
Right.
When you're not looking at reality, you got a different agenda than truth.
So he's like, look over there while they destroy the world.
You understand? It's more than just truth. As my opinion, as an African American woman, the purpose, the votes he did get, I believe he got some votes.
Yes, I agree.
The laws that he is trying to enact, as far as executive orders, the first thing he did was attack brown, tan, and beige people.
Absolutely.
You understand? That was one of the first things he did was, we're going to keep out the brown, tan, and beige people.
Yep.
Now, as a brown, tan, and beige person, that makes me concerned. Why we got to be kept out?
Yep.
You see?
And what about the brown, beige, and tan people that are in the country, and then all this rise of hate crimes?
You see?
And
again,
and open racism.
That to me is when you start there, when someone is willing to support someone, but they're not banning 11 of the 12, 13 people who flew into the Twin Towers were from Saudi Arabia. But they're not putting Saudi Arabia on the list.
Yep. It's
you
very
see?
Suspicious.
So it is not, when people show you who they are, believe it.
Right.
When you're telling me you're for to make America great again, and you go over to Europe and you don't support Article 5,
right?
And you make us weak in front of our allies, but that's not an issue. I want to keep out brown, tan, and beige people.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. But we got to get down to the root of what people are trying to say and what they're trying to accomplish. And I think he is smart enough to know if he keep talking about keeping out brown, tan, and beige people, they don't pay attention to anything else he's doing.
He'll get us protesters, us liberals, I guess.
Well, I don't even say that. People who love this country.
Right.
I mean, it boils down to love of country.
He wants to distract us. So
and it boils down to love of country.
Yes.
Do you love this country? And I love this country, and that's why I worked for Barack for 2008, 2012, because I love this country.
Absolutely.
And the question is, I love it for everyone. I'm happy. I hope everyone, brown, tan, beige, polka dot, orange, green, people come from alien. We ought to encourage them because this is America.
Absolutely.
And it's for everyone.
Absolutely.
There's enough space in here for everyone. It's enough space, opportunity for everyone to be great within their own self instead of having to keep somebody out. Why don't you just be great within yourself?
And then ripping people out.
Encourage the other people who coming in.
Absolutely.
But this is a great country. I'm glad to be here.
I am too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you can think of that you want to? I'm amplifying voices.
I just said this is a great country, and it's a great country for everyone, and I think everyone should be given the opportunity to come here. I really do. I don't think we're less of a country. We're less of people if we let people
great together.
Yes,
we
are.
Can't leave anyone behind.
No, we can't.
And we're big pieces are being left behind right now.
Yes.
Thank you so much.